Hi everyone, it's Genene. Welcome to day 21, the end of week 3 of your 30-day yoga journey towards more meaningful connection. Today you're invited to connect with a deep inner peace with a restorative yin practice. So for that, I recommend either 2 blankets or a bolster, and then let's begin. So today, let's begin actually in child's pose. If you know that child's pose happens to be challenging for you, and you've got the blankets already, you might as well use them for support. Placing them longwise on your mat, toes together, knees wide, bow forwards. So, but no need if you don't need them and you'd rather, you don't need to use them. Your choice. If your back bothers you here, you may find that your feet want to come apart. So try and see if that's better for you. Forehead to the earth. So connect with the ground here. Breathing in and out through your nose. And from this place, as you go a little deeper with every exhale, state your intention for cultivating inner peace. Start really lengthening out your breath. Not struggling with it, but let it be longer than you're used to, perhaps. Let's walk over to the left. Reach through your right ribs. Breathe space into them. Walk over to the right. And come back to center. Draw your hands underneath your shoulders. Come up to hands and knees. And from here, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees. Up and back. And then if you want, you can stay here. If you're feeling like you want a little bit more activity today, I invite you to inhale your right leg in the air. Keep the hips pointing squarely. And then exhale, right knee in, knee to nose. Inhale, stretch the right leg up. Keep the arms straight as you bring your right knee to your right upper arm. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, right knee, left upper arm. Inhale up. And then exhale, draw your right knee in towards your nose and then step your right foot forward. So everyone together can step the right foot forward, bring your left knee down onto the ground. And then inhale, reach your arms up, Anjaneyasana, choosing to take your hips forward or not. And then exhale, hands come down to the ground. Let's do the other side. Right leg comes back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then maybe you pause here, or Inhale, left leg in the air. Exhale, left knee to the nose. Inhale, lift it up. Use your glute to lift that leg higher, and then exhale, left knee, left upper arm. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left knee, right upper arm. Inhale, lift the leg up. And then everyone together, step your left foot right between your hands. Right knee down. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Maybe the hips come forward, maybe not. And then exhale, hands come back down to the ground. Step your left leg back to meet your right. Tuck your toes, Adho Mukha Svanasana, and then walk your feet forward, Uttanasana. Feet hip bone width apart, bowing forwards and choosing to listen to what your hamstrings are saying. So are they saying, oh, please put a little bend in my knees, please, please? Or are they saying, hey, I feel pretty good. Can we go a little deeper? So you bring your hands on the outsides of your feet. Keep turning your pelvis forward, honoring what your hamstrings are saying to create a peaceful experience. Come down to your hands and knees and grab your props. Place them longwise on your mat. You can go like so. You can go in the middle of your mat like so. Your choice. I'm going to go this way. And then you're going to take your legs wide for Upavista Konasana. Wide leg forward bend, wide angled. So your legs are angled 90 degrees. Your kneecaps are pointing straight up and your feet are pointing straight up. So there's a little work that's happening in your legs. And then from here, you're tilting your pelvis forward, and you'll notice if your pelvis, when you start to come forward, if the top rim starts moving backward, then grab one of these blankets and put it underneath your hips. But just whatever you're doing, you're making sure you're supported. So if you come forward and you're like, okay, I'm nowhere near my props, or I'm almost near my props, well, grab more blankets or grab a chair. And you can rest your head on the chair instead. You want to be comfortable here. Hands to the floor, wherever you're at. And then take your attention to your inhales and your exhales, slowing your breath. You can turn your head to one side, and I'll tell you when to turn it to the other side. Anytime you find your attention wandering, give your mind something to do by focusing it back on your breath and ask, what would my breath be saying to me if it could talk English? And get curious. Now turn your head to the other side if you turned it to one side. Can you exhale a little deeper than you inhale? Take a few more breaths here. Slowly press yourself up. Janu Sirsasana, head to knee pose. So you can take your blankets off to the side for a moment, hands to the insides of your thighs to dry your legs straight out in front of you for Dandasana. And then bend your right knee. Take your right foot, the sole of your right foot, to the inner left thigh. If when you bring your knee out to the side, this hurts your knee, you can first start by taking your right outer ankle and pressing it up towards the sky. Make sure it's not just collapsed down there. And you can also try propping yourself up on something so that your pelvis might be tilted backwards. So maybe it needs to be tilted forwards. If neither of those work, then you're going to come out or just bring your knee into your chest like this and stay here, doing something that's comforting for your knee. Now, everyone together, wherever you're at, twist towards your left leg, and then you're either going to tilt the top rim of your pelvis and bow forward, or you're going to stay right here. Now, if you have your blankets, that's when you can place your blankets, your bolster on your leg. And again, if that's not appropriate, you're like, I'm nowhere near lying down. Instead of hanging out in space, grab that chair again. Place it over your extended leg. It helps if your chair isn't too heavy. Rest your head on the chair seat. Hands then come to the floor. And wherever you're at, breathe. Inhale to come up, going to the other side. Extend the leg. Bend the left knee, left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Another little trick, lifting the hip bone, right hip bone, turning the right thigh bone in, and then lifting the left hip bone, turning the left thigh bone in. That widens the pelvic floor, gives you a little more space. And then inhale, everyone. Exhale, twist towards your right leg, deciding where you want to be, and either bowing forwards or not bowing forwards, or bowing forwards a little bit. And then rest. Inhale to come up. Extend both legs out in front of you once more. Bakasana, frog pose on props, or there's an option for something more modified if this is no good on your knees. So that looks like so. And don't worry, I'll show you both. It's either this or Supta Baddha Konasana, supine bound angle pose. So take your props out in front of you longwise. Your hands come to either side of your blankets. Take your knees wide as they'll go. So you might look different than I do, but your knees are as wide as you'll go, and then your ankles in line with knees. And your blankets are there to support you as you come down. So lying down on your blankets, you can turn your head to one side, forearms down to the ground. If this is great for you, stay here. If this is not great for you, Supta Baddha Konasana, you're going to take your two blankets that you already have anyway, fold them over again so they're a nice little square on either side, and then knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Lie down. Bring the soles of your feet together, your knees open. Lie down, and then your props are going to support your outer leg on either side. So your knees are even heighted, the same height. Externally rotate your arms, palms face up to the sky. Relax. Once again, focusing on your deep, long breaths, especially focusing on your exhales. It's where we tend not to breathe. We tend not to exhale as deeply as we inhale. And if you turned your head to one side, turn it to the other. Press down through your arms to lift up, and then bring your legs together. Take your props off to the sides for now. Let's come down onto our backs. And once you find yourself on your back, draw your knees into your chest. Lift your head to touch your knees and squeeze every single muscle in your body. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then gently release. Lowering your legs down one at a time for Shavasana. And since you have your props here, maybe you choose to take one or two blankets on either the tops of your thighs to let those thigh bones rest deeper into earth. Or maybe you want some comfort on your pelvis, whatever feels right for you. And then externally rotating your upper arms to get your chest nice and open. And then gently closing your eyes. You may stay here as long as you like. Thank you so much for joining me on the end of week 3. I can't wait to hear in the comments how this journey is going for you. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow on day 22. Namaste.